Allie had asked about heart,
Mhm.
and I think you kind of answered Peyton, Micah, and then you said you were a little bit of a mixed bag, but didn't want to talk about it here, Dakota. Did you have something you wanted to say to that, Micah? Just like where you feel like your heart is?
Yeah, I feel like my heart's in a good place. Like I left feeling like this one wasn't like this camp wasn't the big, my big bang moment. Which what's funny though is me and Peyton and Dakota walked away from this one feeling like it wasn't too huge, like nothing amazing really happened.
Isn't time travel like last time?
Right. But for other people, I would say the opposite. I feel like other people, this was their big bang.
Yeah.
So which made me think back is whenever we were having our Big Bang camp,
there was other people.
Other kids were just they were like, you know what, I just feel loved.
That's
I'm like,
so cool.
How could you feel anything than the supernatural power of God that's crazy right now?
Yeah.
And then for me, I was like, there were kids that were like, I remember kids just like weeping. Now, like no one was like falling out and no one was like, having deliverances happen. But like, I was just like, I think the crazy part about one camp is that God really just moves on the individual heart. Like there's no one atmosphere of anything. Now, luckily, us three all went through this together, so we all came out on the side pretty much the same, but other side pretty much the same. But I feel like my heart is in the place of just like, I'm content with not having to worry about everyone else right now. So one thing that girl I was telling you earlier about, one thing she pointed out to me, because we finally had the chance, it kept getting interrupted. We kept wanting to talk to her. I was like, you've been laid on my heart. She was like, yeah, I wanted to talk to you too. And so she was scared to share. And so I went first. And like, after I told her my story, she's like, I feel like one thing you do, and that I had never noticed before, she's like, I feel like you're a really big leader. And so even just hearing people's problems, they become your problem. And like, I never noticed that before. So like, I've been feeling the weight of this thing going down with my uncle. Like, I've been feeling the weight of all of it. And like the whole camp, I wasn't away from my phone and I was just checking up on him. I was making sure he's okay. He's out of the hospital. He's in bed. He doesn't get much sleep and all this stuff, but like, he's gonna live.
Yeah.
But like, still, I've just been feeling the weight of that. And she thought that was like a big deal, and I never noticed that. So I think my heart is finally content. Like, God has brought me to this place where I'm learning that like Ollie showed me that picture one time. It's easier to pull me off the chair than it is for me to pick you up on the chair. So like, I first have to take care of my own heart before I can try doing any of this other stuff. So I think I'm content with just like not trying to hit the streets all the time, not trying to like go out and evangelize all the time. Just like get my relationship with God right now, and then focus on the other stuff later. It was funny at the camp, I would be like giving people prophetic words or something and cursing at the same time. Like, God really was just working with me. Like, it felt like an actual relationship. It felt like a friend for the first time, I think that's where my heart's at. Like, I'm really just finding Jesus in a new way, finding that like relationship with the Holy Spirit. Because like, even while I was cursing, I felt power behind the words. Like, for some reason.
Because religion will tell you there's something bad inherently in the word, and then you realize that in the appropriate way, sometimes that word can be the best word possible.
We were talking like we did this cool thing. Me, Dakota, we all have been struggling ever since us four. This is the gang, by the way. Okay. Me and Dakota, the group, every year for the past 3 years.
Cool.
We've always bunked together. We've always just been there for each other.
Cool.
And so we have always noticed that. Don't get me wrong.
Yeah.
But yeah. Just cut out all the names. I can't help but tell a story and tell a name. So you're just gonna have to believe out the names, which is but has always just struggled. And he was the kid that God prophetically told me his dad died.
Oh,
So on the bus.
Yeah, I remember.
And so I got the sense of like he's been struggling really bad with something. So God gave me this another prophetic word that there was something blocking and God wanted to walk him through it. And so me and Dakota are back praying, and then all of a sudden want you to help me pray for him. And then all of a sudden he comes walking from the other side, and we all just happen to meet in the middle of this worship service. We all happen to be at the same spot at the same time. And we're like, guys, this is way too coincidental, right? We need to go out. So we went outside, and these camp counselors kept trying to drag us back inside, kept giving us dirty looks for being outside of service, but we just kept on like, nope, this is what we need to do. And so we ended up doing this thing where we all just acknowledged to each other. We all knew it, but we never acknowledged it, that we all struggle with porn.
Yeah.
And it had always been a problem in our lives. Like, and now me and Dakota related on the problem that, like, now last year it would ruin our day. You could tell I had watched porn that day just because of my attitude.
Yeah.
Now it doesn't ruin my day.
Yeah.
And I got into this, I'm in this weird state of just being like, I had gotten to the point where I don't have to be perfect because Jesus is perfect for me. And so I can throw my problems on him and I can just really trust in that. And so I was like, you know what, guys, one thing that we've never done is we've never shown the light on the like issue, and we haven't gotten rid of the power that holds over. You ever verbalized like specifics of it? He's like, no, and he was like super awkward.
Right. Yeah.
Everything in him wanted to break through the glass window and go back inside the service, and we were just like, we had got him out there. We were like, we're doing this, and so at first we were like, you do it, we're here for you. And then I was like, you know what, I've never done it. I'll partner with you. Like, you know what, I'll get in on that. Dakota was like, fine, let's do it. So we all obviously
It's a boy.
Yeah, obviously it's super personal stuff, so I'm not going to say any details, but we all went around and we had talked about it. And like it, not that there was just like the clouds parted and Jesus came back, but like it just felt good to know that that band of brothers type of thing was there. And so, and then me and Dakota, Peyton gets in the corner and he goes, all right, he goes, jokingly, he goes, how many of y'all masturbated at camp? And me and Dakota are like, actually, no, I didn't even have the desire. Like, it didn't even hit me until then, but like, it just wasn't a problem.
Yeah.
Like, after that night, like, I remember the first night, it was like kind of a struggle. I was like, well, it's like 1 a.m. Am I gonna? And then like, I ended up like fighting it off. But then I noticed after that night, like, it just didn't even hit me. Like, it wasn't even a thought.
Yeah.
And then I'd be on my phone and everyone else is asleep. And there's like a door to the bathroom. Like, the moment couldn't have been more perfect, and I would acknowledge the fact that I could, and I'd be like, no, it just didn't even affect me the same. So
cool.
Yeah. Which I didn't feel or hear like I heard confirmation from God that like I had been healed and it was no longer being a problem, but something was different. Something had changed. That was really cool to me.
That's massive.
I feel like the whole time you guys have been talking, like there has been like there were these visible, it's hard to put into words, but it's like, you know, last year there's these, it's like fireworks.
Yeah.
So visible, so clear, so loud, so in your face, you know? And all this change came as a result, or it faded over the year, whatever. But I feel like this year is actually more profound than last year. And then I see this seed planted. Like I see a literal seed like planted with each one of you. Like you have no idea yet of the impact of this year, because it's going to slowly grow and it may be 6 months or more before you fully see the fruit of it, because it's going to take a while to cultivate and grow. But it was a distinct heart change, a shift that has happened. Maybe it's the plant that's planted in you is peace, or it's determination or willpower or
whatever it is.
Yeah. But there was a seed planted deeply that you have to continue to cultivate. You know, you see me, this is a very literal example, but we put that sod down and you see me every day out there watering that grass so it doesn't die, every single day. And if, you know, we're like thanking God and praying for rain because it takes forever. You know, we got out there, I was day by day watering each square to make sure I got enough water. And then I was like, okay, I'm going to get a sprinkler because this is exhausting. I'm out here forever. You know, and so you learn to get smarter in how you cultivate and care for it, but it still requires daily attention. If I don't water those flowers over there outside, like those pots will die and they'll completely wither up. And so it still takes care. But it gets easier and easier to care for, and then you're just doing it before you even realize it.
Yeah.
So I do feel like
That's a good point.
there's been a profound impact. You just are not going to see the fruit of it for a little bit.
I definitely feel like this camp was just as impactful.
Yep.
Uh,
If not more.
Because I was explaining to I don't know, maybe Jack was another one of the counselors in our cabin, that like it was different this year.
Mhm.
And I was trying to put into words how it's different, because it's not a bad different by any means. Not sure if I don't know if it's a good different yet, because like you said,
Sure.
it's probably a seed that's growing, but or if it's a better different way to rephrase
That makes
it, but
sense.
it is just as good.
Yeah. It's good.
Like both of these years have been equally as good. And so like last year, I mean, you were saying the differences, but I mean, I felt like everyone's was supernatural last year. I know I'm kind of biased because it was all like a blur and I just remember mostly mine. But like, I mean, you time traveled, you got healed from MRSA. We prayed over 2 guys in our cabin last year, and those or 3 guys, and all 3 received healing. We all prayed over it was Bowie.
Bowie.
Yeah, last year, like the entire camp, like during the worship, prayed over one guy. Mason got in front of everybody one morning and just started speaking words to the crowd.
Prophetic words.
Yeah, prophetic words to the crowd. And like that, none of that happened this year. We did pray over one guy, but that was like 10 people praying over one person. But it wasn't like the entire camp. There wasn't, as far as I know, there weren't any more like huge, like miraculous healings like there were last year. But it was still equally as good. I felt like it was a lot more love, and just joy.
So I just heard the greatest of these is love, so it's like ultimately like that is the
That came up quite a bit this camp.
Mhm.
And I feel like another great, because it was revealed, and I'm sure that has way more meaning than I know, but I feel like another one was just connection. Like just that, if that could be a theme word for me personally, was just connection, like connecting dots, connecting to Jesus, connecting to people. When you already said it, but like one thing I thought was just really crazy was the 2 girls that came. It took like going to one camp to meet them, and they've been going to school the whole time. And like I would consider both of them to be like good friends now, because like so
I got a very distinct word for you.
dope right here.
I started to wait until afterwards, but it's probably cool that it's recorded. Just for
Future reference, because I'll probably not write it.
So I got a picture. I don't really know what manna looks like, but I connected it later to like it's like those little white crackers.
It is like little white, yeah.
Or whatever. That's what I saw.
Yeah.
And the Lord said it was manna. And then I remember like some pictures from like those movies or something. But, I got a picture. Shut up. No, so this is kind of weird, but I need you to like focus.
Right.
So the top half of the body is you,
Mm-hmm.
and it's like, or at least I can see you from here to here, and almost like Jesus in the white flowy like garment or whatever. Like you have that from the waist down, and it's this like it's kind of a blur. Like I don't see. I really just I can tell very clearly it's
Like a
you.
wedding dress.
Like
looking
from
type
here
thing.
to here, kind of.
Yeah.
But it's like
Bride
from
of
here to
Christ.
here, it's very clearly you. And you have your hands out like this, and there's manna in it. And there are those younger than you, 9th graders, kids, whatever, but you are holding out manna for people to come take out of your hands. And the cool thing about this, because I'm seeing this image and it's like, oh, it's so great. Like Micah's pouring into like others, and you're giving, like, because part of you is actually him. You are giving him. You are giving manna. But it's what you're connected to that you're giving. And so if you aren't fully connected, like if you aren't identifying as one with him, then you are, and there's a lot of responsibility that comes with this, because it's a great gift you've been given, which is leadership and giving to others, but you're always giving something out because people are always coming to you.
Right.
And if you aren't connected, if you're not one with him, then what are you giving out?
Right.
And so it's something that you, for the rest of your life, are going to have to be very very aware of and very in tune with, because you're always going to have to envision your hands doing this, and with these people that are coming to you, no matter who it is, what are you giving them? And so the image though was you giving Nana, and yeah, I think that's all for now. But yeah, it was very, very clear. So
Thank you.
you had a thought. I saw it happen on your face.
I did have a thought, and I forgot the thought. It was about Mason, and I don't remember what about him.
Dakota, do you have any other thoughts?
Needless to say, Mason was impactful.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, something.
I don't think so.
You want to do a dance before we cut the camera off?
So what do you think what's your sort of takeaway in terms of, all right, so this is the first day, well, you actually were at camp 2 days, so going forward, what do you think, how does life look different? How do you sort of perceive things going forward, directly and indirectly affected by this camp? How do you kind of envision
I'll start.
Life.
Sorry,
go? Yeah.
Sorry. I think mine starts slow, because what I did last time is I tried making, like, I jumped right into it. I was like, I'm going to pray like 2 hours a day. And I have this giant list of people I'm going to pray for, and I'm going to pray for each one of them individually.
And we
and I'm
created a
gonna remember
bunker
all of
room.
them. But like, I was, by the end of it, I was basically like, I never went in that bunker room. I didn't want to go near the bunker room. I was just like, that's way too much work, because I did make it about work. And so I think I'm not even going to start reading my Bible. I'm not going to do anything super special or like life changing. I'm just going to worship a little bit. I'm definitely going to talk to God. Like, just things that are crucial to even having a relationship. Like, one thing that I thought was really dope that Daniel said was, he said, everyone knows it, but in order to have a good relationship with someone, you have to have conversation. Like, you have to learn how to communicate. And so I was like, and communication can look different to every relationship.
Yeah.
But like, just any form of communication is key. And so I feel like that's like why I feel dry a lot of times, is because like I won't communicate with him except for like, the basics, like thank you for this meal, or, God forgive me for that sin, or whatever.
Or when you want
Yeah.
a word for someone.
Or when I want a word for someone, or someone wants me to give them a word, and I have to be like, well, I guess I have to talk to you for a second. Like stuff like
Yeah.
that. So just little things like that, and then just getting involved in whatever you guys do. So like, if you guys are like, we're gonna like read the Bible or something, I'll be like, yeah, let's do it. But basically not putting a bunch of pressure on it right now, because I know if I do, I'm gonna get burnt out like last time. And it's just like a real relationship. Just take it slow, get to know him, get to like fall in love with him. Like, yeah, that.
It's cool.
That's good.
So, I guess what I'm doing different. I guess Micah and I are very different in the way our minds work.
Yeah.
Which, I mean, God bless for that.
Heck yeah. How boring would that be?
Yeah,
That's
no
it.
kidding. And so anyways, I remember, like, Justin, you've told me a lot that I've been blessed with discipline.
Mhm.
Like my ability just to wake up at 6:30 and go to the prayer room during camp whenever.
Mhm.
I mean, like, sleep is so great at camp because you have so little of it.
Right. It's a precious commodity.
Yes. Like,
You just when you want to spend your free time sleeping instead of playing like basketball or something,
You know.
that is a true story. I went to one of my impact groups for sleep. Like,
Yep.
it was prayer, and they call it, what was it? Soaking.
Soaking prayer. Oh yeah.
Oh yeah.
I
And
drifted into a lot of sleep during soaking prayer. I'm not even gonna lie.
And so the first day, I didn't know you were supposed to go to sleep, and so like everyone laid down. And they said, we're playing music, just clear your mind. If you fall asleep, it's okay. And I walked in late, so I didn't know that.
Yeah.
And so then I fell asleep, and then afterwards I found out. And so the next day I was like, I'm going back. Like, I was supposed to go to spike ball, okay?
Yeah.
And I was like, I'm going to prayer because I've been
That is
sleeping.
so good.
Yes. And so I had to be a 40-minute soak. But like,
he prays a lot.
He's so holy.
Super
So
holy.
spiritual.
He almost looks like he's sleeping when he prays.
Yeah. but like that's something that God has blessed me with, is that discipline.
Yeah.
And so for me, reading my Bible is something that like I need to do more of.
Yeah.
That is something that I need to pursue more. But I think this is the first prophetic word I've ever gotten. I'm honestly not sure, because I've given a decent amount. I mean, not like Michael level or anything, but I'd say I'm probably pushing like 15, 20
Nice.
at this point.
I love classic
Yeah,
man.
you're checking them all.
I mean, not that I have an Excel spreadsheet where I've broken it out by categories.
I don't write them down in my journal or anything. But there's a mental checklist. But I'm working on it.
Yeah.
Anyways, so Nathan, I went and I prayed with him. I think it was Tuesday night. Nope, it was Wednesday night. And I was just like, everything that is taught, like I get it. Like God is like the fruits of the Spirit. Like I get all of that. I get how God works with it. I get what the Spirit does, but I'm just not feeling it. I just need some prayer.
Yeah.
And so he said, well, I'm just going to pray and ask God, see what he says. And so, Ray, you're going to love this one, but he prays, and then we sit there for about 15 seconds just standing there. And he says, I got it. All right, this is going to be great. I got this, Peyton. I'm just like, okay. And he says, that's what you got to do. You got to go in your car. You got to sit there. I see you driving home to Mississippi. It doesn't matter where you are, but just talk to God like he's in the passenger seat.
Nice.
All you got to do is just sit there and talk.
Nice.
And so he said it's not
Which
about...
you love to do, so.
Yeah.
Thank you,
That's my boy.
He said it's not about asking or praising. It's a relationship. God wants to just talk to you like we talk to each other.
Yeah.
And so for me, I do enjoy the discipline part of it, but it's also about just enjoying the relationship and just creating space that, like a disciplined space, but that is just free space with God.
That's really good, dude. That's awesome.
That's where I am moving forward.
Yeah.
I feel like some of you have seen me do this, but like especially there's like a physical and spiritual experience with just laying on the floor.
Yeah.
I sometimes will do it at the end of a long day. It just feels like the stress and tension of my body just goes into the floor because every part of me is touching the floor.
When you're soaking.
No, just
No.
walk in. Like we were all sitting around talking, and I just felt tension, and so I just laid on the floor, like as we were talking, me and Justin and Jasmine in here, and so just lay on the floor, and a lot of times he'll come in and he'll just see me on the floor, but it's this. I feel like I'm at the end of me.
Right.
As
low as you can go.
Yeah, it's the most humble position. It's like there's everything that's the weight of the world is just draining into the floor. And it's like I'm not carrying anything. I'm coming into the presence of the Lord with a very humble, heart. So
The weight of the world is seeping back into the world.
Yeah.
So I feel like there's a lot to be said from just the position of humility and humidity. That's an internal joke. I'll tell you that joke later. But anyway,
Internal joke. Just
But
inside joke.
but anyway, it's just it might be a cool practice. It doesn't require much, even if it's just 5 minutes.
Cool.
But just laying on the floor, and because it allows me to like cut my brain off, and I can just hear. So.
Dakota, what was your answer to the question of like kind of after this? You're really tired, bro. You don't look like you don't look like you're barely awake.
I don't know. Are we? I'm fine.
Are you? Okay. I couldn't tell if you were barely awake. How do you think your life is going to be different moving forward from this camp?
Okay, so I feel like I finally realized that like God knows my ish. Hey Josh.
Hey,
I
buddy.
feel like I finally realized that God knows my troubles, He knows my problems.
Yeah.
He already knows what I'm going through, and I just need to learn to accept and just give it all to Him. So I'm really in that mindset right now. Like, it's not like He doesn't hear me. It's not like He doesn't know what's going on with me, mentally or physically. And so I just feel a little bit more at ease now. because I know that he's listening and he's eventually going to do something about it.
So how does that what does that translate into in terms of going forward, like over this next year till next one camp? How does your life look different because of that?
I'm going to probably be less stressed, definitely.
Awesome.
And just more relaxed about everything.
That's cool.
I think that what he said seems so like simple,
Yeah.
but for at least for me and him, I know we relate on it. It's super big. The whole like just give it to Jesus.
Mm-hmm.
But as teens, we do it all the time. The whole IDJAF, like
Mm-hmm.
I just don't care. I'm not
Yeah.
gonna worry about it, and like I'm just gonna put it off until last minute. Like that's what Jesus tells us to do. Like he says, just give it to me. Like don't worry about it. I'll handle it. And you don't have to think it. Like you don't have to put that weight of it on you. And so that's what I was telling him is a lot of times he just like kind of stresses a lot about like physical appearance and like is he gonna find a wife in the future and like friendships and all this stuff. And I'm like, dude, those are future things that you genuinely have no control over right now. Put it on Jesus.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah. It's good.
One big thing that I got out of this, like another tool in the tool belt for me, other than like all the emotional and spiritual things that God has like, planted in my life, but it was in the hearing God's voice that Josh and Sarah did. It was.
Did you recognize it?
The first one I did. I meant to tell them you did that with me a couple years ago. They even used the same words as.
I know she called me Monday morning.
Okay.
Oh,
Fantastic.
about the hearing the voice of God in your own brain,
Yeah,
or in
she
your
said-
yeah, that's awesome.
She said, "What comes to mind when you think of justice?" And I said, first time I was asked that, I said league, but
You said league. Oh dear God, I remember that version of you.
that version.
when I first met Peyton, it was back to back hours.
I got the
Easy. Hey, this is on film. Let's try to pretend like I'm a more decent human being. But yeah, endless stories of superheroes was pretty much all of our
I still
conversation.
have all of that information.
You do? God, no, I'm good. Thank you.
But anyways, the one that I did recognize that. I meant to talk to Josh about that. But the one that stuck with me is there was the Lexio Divina. Is that?
Yeah.
Okay.
Or is it Lectio?
Lectio.
Lectio Divino.
That was Lexio. Lectio.
Yeah.
And then I didn't know that, but the one that I enjoyed was the Emmanuel prayer process, which I
Go through that real quick. Just to remind everybody what it is, because I forget sometimes.
Oh, right. So it is when you are praying, envisioning yourself in a place, and then Jesus walks up to you, and then Jesus leads you somewhere.
Awesome.
And so I like that a lot because it helps keep my prayer kind of grounded to something. Because a lot of times my mind just wanders.
It's
I
good.
definitely like the manual prayer process because I've never done that.
Josh's favorite. Yeah.
I think, Josh Turner's favorite process is the Emmanuel. He said that that's actually done more for him. I don't want to put words in his mouth, but I think it's been like more impactful than even like some of the wild supernatural experiences. That has led him deeper in relationship. He can confirm or deny that, but I think that was what I heard him say on that.
So, also, side note before we wrap this thing up, he said find some place that you can just sit and just enjoy and like your kind of happy place. And so at first I imagined myself like kind of on a hill, like just a grassy hill like in a park or something. And then the more I thought about it, my little happy place was right outside of my cabin door. Because I woke up for the prayer room to go to the prayer room at like 6:30.
Yeah.
And so sunrise is at 5:55, like it's right at 6 o'clock. So it was just first light, and I would walk out there and just, as I was waking up, put my arms on the rail and just like sit there because it's all nature and cabins, and that's literally it.
Yep.
And so I just imagine myself sitting outside of that cabin.
So great.
Lots of hills.
I
I
love
did
it.
that after.
Is there one at home? Or you just need to have a place while you're at camp? Or just in general?
No, not happy places.
So like in your mind when you go like your holy imagination when you're going someplace with God, Reagan, that's
Gotcha.
yeah. So
That's
you could be
what
anywhere
I-
in the world and go there and say,
You can make a place up. Someone, this was cool. he said, "Does anyone have a place where you could go?" And he said, "Tell us, like, if it's in nature." And someone said, "Can I go to heaven?
Yeah.
Like, can my happy place be in heaven?" He was like, "Yeah, of course it can be in heaven."
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah, I did
He
fair.
actually did say that. No, he did. I forgot. He was telling us because we were the last day. He said that someone the day before said, "Can you go to heaven?" And he looked at me and said, "I said no, you can't go to heaven." I was like, "What do you think this is? Jesus can't?"
That's right. It's awesome. Now I go to heaven a lot when I'm just like talking to God and imagining where I'm at, like trying to be in that space. Cool. All right. So I think now is a good time for like just any final thoughts. It could be anything from like something I learned to funny story to something I got out of it or random detail. Final thoughts. Final
Yeah.
thoughts.
Do we have any funny stories, Micah?
None.
None.
Zero funny
Nothing.
stories. All funny stories were told off.
Me and this little kid, Jaden, were trying to play spike ball, which I can't explain spike ball to you, but it's like there's this like little net and you hit a
Yep.
ball on it and you go back and forth. Like that's as good as I can do. But I got there and I was like, I've played spike ball
Yeah.
and I know these college dudes are gonna be really good at it because college dudes are always really good at everything. But I was like, we're not gonna do terrible, right? And we get there and we get destroyed by everyone. And I kid you not, this isn't like an exaggeration. This is an actual thing you could have watched. Every time the ball came on our court, there wasn't a single play that Jaden didn't end up on the ground. Not a single one. Jaden was always on the ground. He'd get back up, wipe his knees off, get all the dirt and grass off, and then do it right again. And then those two girls that go to my school, I was like, dude, let's just go play with them. They look like they're doing bad too. We got spanked by them. We could not catch a break in this game. It was so bad.
So in other words, professional spike ball in career,
No.
in your future, I mean. Nice. Last final thoughts, Dakota.
I'd rather Micah tell the story
I-
of what happened with a certain camp counselor.
That was it? We told them before.
I know, but
You want it on video?
yeah. Just, because let's be honest, my parents are going to see this, so I'd rather have someone who's good at telling stories tell it.
No pressure.
No, basically, Dakota. Do you want the whole story? Should we do it or no? That's up to
Yeah,
you.
you can do the whole story.
Maybe
Okay.
just don't mention
Oh
names.
Lord.
Okay.
No, mention the name. That's funny. Well, except maybe the girl's name. Leave
No,
her
I'm
out.
not gonna. Yeah. Anyway, so Dakota had spent a lot of the camp worrying about girls because, like, he likes girls.
Are you
But
sure about that?
this camp counselor named Junior
I've
found
known
out
him
about
for
this.
9 years, by the way.
Found out about this, and so he had a little heart-to-heart with Dakota, and he was like, "Look, dude, camp's not about girls; it's about God." Dakota's like, "All right." So Dakota, disregarding that, goes out, gets this girl's number. We don't know how. And we're all in the cabin later that night, and he's talking to all the counselors, and Junior is a counselor, and he's in the room. And he's like, "Yeah, and I got this girl's digits." And Junior goes, "Wait," in front of everyone, by the way, he stops everything, and he goes, "Tell him what I told you today." And so, like, he runs through it with Dakota, and Dakota's, like, struggling to understand what he's getting at. And so he's like, he finally basically, shames Dakota for it. And we were like, "Oh, it's just a little slap on the wrist." And he's like, it was kind of a laughing moment. And then Junior goes, "What's the girl's name?" And one of the counselors knows who the girl is that Dakota was talking to, and he knows that Junior is good friends with the family, and he goes, "Don't tell him, Dakota." This guy is a wise man. Very wise man. He goes,
I was
"I love
very
you, Junior."
stupid.
He goes, "I love Junior. Don't tell him, Dakota." And Dakota disregards that statement, right ahead, and tells the name of the girl to Junior. And Junior does a thing I've never seen another human do. He starts spazzing in the face. So weird. Trying to control him. His face all over is just jumping and spazzing, and he's like, I think at one point he was like spitting a little bit, and he turns around and he storms out and he's like slamming doors, and like it got pretty hectic. And then eventually they kind of kiss and make up a little bit, but for like the next 2 days, Dakota is in the hot seat. Like anytime he tries to talk, Junior shuts him down. He's like, I did not say you could talk. He tries walking outside or something. He's like, yeah, I didn't say you could come outside. He like, I think at one point you just tried closing a door. He just tried closing a door, and Junior just like decided he didn't want that door closed all of a sudden. So that was pretty funny. But then,
And then if you got any,
then we wrestled. It's our tradition. We always wrestle on the Thursday night. And everyone put Dakota up against Junior because everyone wanted to see that. And we put 30 seconds on the timer. Like, at 30 seconds, we peel Junior off of Dakota, right? 5 seconds into the match, Dakota's back on the ground, elbow in his throat, and Junior's just like rubbing it in. He's like yelling something in his face, and you just hear Dakota. And over everyone laughing, you hear Dakota. His face is like purple and red. I think it was a mistake. It's so great. That's how Dakota almost died at one camp.
yeah, there you go.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But like today, he was like, dude. He's like, he's like, he kept telling me, like, dude, I love you, man. I've known you for 9 years. I know you have a good heart. And he's like, let me get your number. We'll hang out like every 2 weeks. And so.
Oh, that's
And
amazing.
he told me that he's like, the guy I pick on the most is the one I'm fighting for.
That's right.
Like, all right, so
Sweet.
clearly the best person. Like, I've ever-
Yeah.
So, thank you.
I was just telling Ali the other day that there's a situation that, you know, we're kind of dealing with. And anyways, I was reminded that there's that scripture that says basically the one that God disciplines is the one that's his son, right? Because God, just like me, I wouldn't discipline someone that wasn't my kid. Like if you're not my kid, I'm not going to discipline
Right.
you. It's not my job, not my place. But if you're my child and that's my job, like that's an act of love, unless it's done out of anger. But
Right.
God always disciplines from a place of love. So anyways, yeah, that's back to you. Like he loves you like a son. He feels like you're worth disciplining. So it's cool. Any final thoughts from you, Mr. Payton?
I think I'm all done.
Think you're all done? All right. That's a wrap.
Yay!